Hello folks, Jinlong here, and as we all know, this is the month of love. I plan to release this on the 14th, but if it's a bit late, well, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. Well, on this particular day, I had an idea. I'm starting up a new business. Yes, that's right, I'm calling it Jinlong's Love Appointments. The idea of my new business is that you guys send me your cringe or funny stories relating to love or ask me for advice on something, and I proclaim myself the authority on everything. So you are legally obligated to follow my advice. So basically, I asked you guys to DM me your embarrassing love stories so that I can make fun of you on live YouTube. But seriously, everybody who DM'd me consented that I share their stories on this video, and as promised, everything will be 100% anonymous. I will be giving people fake names if need be. So come on, let's get started, because I've got some pretty good ones today. So first up, we're starting with one short and sweet. I was dating this girl and we were really hitting it off, and on about our third date she said she didn't like School of Rock. So I said I forgot my wallet in the car to go pay for dinner and that I had to go out and grab it, but I just left and blocked her number. I mean, fair enough. Totally reasonable reaction. I feel like there's so many things in this world to hate, like so many things to viscerally despise with your entire being, but School of Rock? Who doesn't like School of Rock? School of Rock rock.
Boo! You stink!
Okay, next up. When I was younger, like 7th or 8th grade, I dated a girl who was like, "Hey, you just broke up with your girlfriend." Eyes emoji. And I was sad and dumb, so I dated her. Oh, like you started dating her as soon as you broke up with your girlfriend. So, hey, she might have been saying that as like concern for you, because rebound relationships aren't very healthy. You know, you should give yourself time to digest that breakup before you date somebody else immediately. She might have been saying that out of concern for you, but... So I realized as I dated her why she dated so many people. She was a bit of a psycho. A well-known fact with many of my friends, I am mentally ill. So I was one day in intramurals? Do you mean recess? Or like interval? Intramurals, that sounds kind of funny. And had a vaguely sharp piece of wood. Like, where do you find a sharp piece of wood in school, presumably? Like a stake? Like a vampire stake thing? I was dancing around with it and whacking at wasps with it. Walking at wasps. Walking at wasps. Whacking at wasps. I can't. And suddenly this girl just rips it from my hand. I mean, I would too. Not gonna lie. What are you doing with a vampire killing steak at school? That's not appropriate. I too would have confiscated it from you. I look at her confused and she tells me no, like I was a kid she was reprimanding.
Like, no vampire steak. Put that vampire steak, no vampire steak.
I'm pretty sure she thought I was gonna hurt myself or something, but that was kind of the last crack in our relationship. I also realized that she kind of took advantage of the fact that I was in a vulnerable spot and was like, "Hey, little mama, let me slide in your DMs." I hate that phrase. I was also too scared to say no. Oh, it's like she approached you first. Oh, I see. Well, if there's one thing I can take from the story, is that vampire steaks are a turnoff. Don't approach someone you want to date with a vampire steak. This one is a bit longer, but it's a train wreck. So before I started dating my ex, or even before we were just friends, we got into an argument on Instagram about the movie Avengers Endgame. The perfect meet cute. In which she made a broad statement that the scene where all the female superheroes step forward ruined the entire movie. And I made a comment about how a minute-long scene should not be able to ruin the entirety of a movie, and that it was literally just a scene of a bunch of women standing together. It wasn't as if they shouted, "Girl power! Girls are better than men!" or anything. I'll be honest, I never saw that scene. That's right, I never watched Endgame. I know what happens in it. It's impossible to avoid Marvel spoilers whatsoever online, so I know what happens in Endgame, but I've never watched it. Infinity War frankly took everything out of me. I had no energy to watch Endgame. He went on to still basically say that they shouldn't have added any scene directly pointing to the existence of female superheroes, and that it made him so angry that the rest of the movie was just ruined for him. What a charmer. I told him that it was sexist that the mere appearance of women in the movie enraged him, and he went on and on until he eventually realized I had stopped responding. Why did you date him again? A few months after that, I, unwisely, started dating him, because I was lonely and a 17-year-old and I must have hated myself. Anyway, while we were dating, Taylor Swift released the song The Man and the music video for it, and he was very upset by it, stating that Taylor Swift was sexist for saying that women in the business world are discriminated against, and do not rise as quickly through the ranks as men. We once again had a lengthy discussion about why he felt that way, which obviously did not end in him admitting that he had deep-rooted misogyny planted by his mother's toxic boyfriends that he had grown up around, as well as his own father who had once referred to having sex before marriage as taking her for a test drive, which my ex quoted to me when I told him that I planned on remaining abstinent until marriage. Anyway, despite the many red flags, it took a few more months before I dumped him for a reason that far surpassed any of those. I planned on remaining friends with him, but quickly realized that would not work as he attempted to call me through Discord, Snapchat, FaceTime, Instagram, Facebook, and literally everything you could think of. He also kept messaging me, seeking pity and for me to comfort him over our breakup, so I ended up needing to block him for the sake of my own sanity. He was still in my friend's Discord server after we broke up. I didn't publicly announce it or anything because I didn't want to air out our dirty laundry in the public. This man starts talking about me in a server full of my friends, which I am also in, saying that he doesn't like me and that he's mad and he hates me right now. Then my friend bans him and is like, WTF, that was too much. A year passes from the day I broke up with him and I receive an email that has his name in it. I had blocked his email too, so I was confused until I saw that the email was not from him, but from Google, informing me that I had been invited to a Google Doc.
Bruh.
This boy traumatized me while we were dating, and I made that clear to him when we broke up. I went to read the letter and it said things like, due to a freshman college class I had to take, I realized that one of the things I did to you was wrong. Just one. And it was a half-hearted apology with mixed statements like, I'm not a monster, I'm just a human who made a mistake. And I still wasn't planning on breaking my streak of silence until I read a certain line of the letter. I don't deserve a second chance for a relationship with you, but it would be nice to occasionally talk to you. I think it might be a way for me to move on if I knew we were on better terms, but that's entirely up to you. He wanted me to still be his friend and talk to him occasionally. I mean, he stalked you on every social media on existence. After that long apology in which he stated that he knew he had messed up severely, and even admitted that he realized how it may have affected me, and he wanted me to talk to him to give him closure. In a rage, I wrote a very strongly worded letter telling him that when someone blocks him, that usually means they don't want to be contacted, and that I would never ever be his friend, and that I didn't care if he ever got over me because it wasn't my problem. Anyway, it's been 2 years since I broke up with him. Apparently he has a new girlfriend now, and his dad attempted to unalive his stepmom, which I only know because he still messages my mom. Huh? Excuse me? His dad attempted to unalive his stepmom? Which I only know because he still messages my mom? Who? Him or his dad? I wonder how his new girlfriend would feel if she knew he still messages my mom asking about me though. I wonder how she would feel about his dad unaliving his stepmom.
Bruh.
Oh man, this story was a freaking roller coaster. And I like how the best line, the best little detail, was just a little line that the person left there as if it's nothing. And the best part is that this person left another little anecdote of a completely different love story, saying, oh, and also one time in middle school, a boy who was my boyfriend told everyone that he was gonna kiss me. So after school, they all gathered round, and he went in for the kiss, but I didn't want to kiss him, so I turned my head to the side and he ended up kissing me on the eyelid. Oh, cute, quirky. I want to know about the stepmom. I want to know about the unaliving stepmom story. I don't really care about this. I want more details on this unaliving stepmom business. I think we all do. Next up, we have this person here. I dated this guy for a long-ass time. Toxic relationship, but won't really get into that. Long story short, I was young and he was older. When he was born, his parents were both 16. I was 15 at the time and we were just friends. But when he introduced me to his parents, they looked me up and down and told me, hey, when you get pregnant, we'll take care of you and the baby if your parents don't want it. Smiley emoji. Big red flags. Some of you really do live more interesting lives than me, apparently. If you were 15 at the time, how much older was he than you? I hope not older than 18. Now, this one's actually kind of wholesome. This person DM'd me with just the following. So for this upcoming Valentine's Day, I asked one of my friends in the best way I could. And then they sent me this little image with the two controls saying, you're trying to be my player too this Valentine's? So that was kind of cute. And of course I asked him what they said, and They said yes, LMAO. That's actually like a little wholesome break from all the horrible stuff we're seeing. So this is actually a nice little wholesome break from all that. Now back to the horrible stuff. Okay, this next one I admit I didn't read beforehand. Like I got this one kind of last minute, so I'll be kind of reading it fully for the first time now. So here's my genuine reaction. This story mainly involves my ex-boyfriend, A, and our joint friend, N, whom we had known for the duration of our 4 years together. It is January 4th, 2021. A and N had just moved into a rental house together on January 1st. A informs me that N had just stormed out of the house in a rage. A few moments later, N messages me informing me that the reason was that N was mad at A, getting into why would take too long. N wanted to get revenge on A and make me sympathetic to her. Wait a minute. So like your boyfriend moved into a rental house with another girl? That's a bit weird to me. So you probably weren't involved in this because it says that they moved into a rental house together, but you were dating him at the time apparently. I don't know, man. Something's kind of weird in that story. Anne wanted to get revenge on A and make me sympathetic towards her. As revenge, she told me that she had sex with A 3 years ago. Called it. Incredibly, she thought that I would immediately disavow A and run to Anne to support her. Obviously, I was enraged with both her and A. Good reaction. I demanded that both A and Anne apologize. A did apologize, but the apology involved the excuse that he was having sex with her out of pity for her since she was trans. Yikes. Yikes indeed. He also later told me that he would like to become a woman since women are less horny than men, and that HRT would control his urges. Yikes again.
What?
Yeah, another genuine piece of advice for all of you. Urges have nothing to do with whether you're male or female. Lots of women have high sex drives, lots of men have low sex drives, it depends on the person. Of course, men tend to have higher sex drives because of their testosterone, but that's by no means a rule or a defining quality of either gender. So whenever some guy tries to pull the excuse of men are naturally horny, I couldn't help it, dump him. Immediately. Do not fall for that BS. Do not. I prohibit you from falling for it. However, N refused to apologize, saying that it was all A's fault, and even tried to imply that A raped her, which she walked back quickly upon me demanding to know if she really meant that. After several days of trying to get a proper apology out of N, I stopped trying. However, later I found out that they had, and perhaps still are, been telling all their friends and family that I have been abusing A.
What the fuck?
As far as I know, they are still living together in that hell house. Since last time I talked to A, he told me he would be moving back in with them. Oh, and didn't mention N and A had sex during a group sleepover. So they had sex mere feet away from one of our other mutual friends who was sleeping. Truly depraved. What do I even make of the story? First of all, I never want to judge people too much, but were you seriously okay with the fact that your boyfriend was moving in with another girl? Like, you were both heterosexual, presumably, I think. With your heterosexual boyfriend moving in with another girl to a house alone? Like, people can be as woke as they want nowadays. People can be as, like, free-spirited and, like, no labels attached or as they want. But I think that's weird. I think that's kind of weird. And I wouldn't be okay with that. I think the first red flag would be that, honestly. And regardless of rental house or whatever, I still think that's really weird. You guys obviously had lots of other friends that you could rent the house with, not just her and him alone. If it was up to me, I would have cut it off right there. Yikes. Next up, I have one from when I was younger. It is about how I made very bad mistakes as a freshman in high school, lol. I was a dumb freshman, 14 to 15 years old, who thought it was a good idea to date a senior who was almost 19 at the time.
NANI?
Obviously, this was pretty not okay and illegal, which I now know and look back with disgust. Anyways, we met at this Japanese culture club. Oh no, it's the Japanese obsessed people, the weeboos, the anime freaks, the Narutos, the Nico Nico Knees, the Dragon Ball Z lovers. I like Dragon Ball Z. Moving on, and we started to date around about 3 days of knowing each other. 3 days? This was also my first relationship and I was pretty new to it. About 3 or so months into the relationship, he began to plan out our relationship and how we would get married as soon as I got out of high school.
NANI?
Pretty much would control my life before he went to the military. Soon I met my present boyfriend and decided to end the other relationship because my current boyfriend and friends helped me realize it was toxic and not great, lol. You pretty much escaped like a marriage grooming at a high school situation. Again, as I keep saying, some of you live way more interesting lives than me. And ladies and gentlemen, I saved this story for last because this story... I'm gonna read it all, and you tell me what you think, because I had a stroke reading this entire thing. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna go by K, and the guy I'm gonna talk about is gonna be J. And hold on tight, it's an interesting ride. So before J, there was Tar. Long story short, Tar was an online... that was a registered sex Okay, we're starting strong, aren't we? Like, we're already starting with the hook of the narrative. I met my first ever guy IRL that wasn't a cousin in this group that put themselves as good people. Wait, what? I met my first ever guy IRL that wasn't a cousin. Are you implying that you've never met a romantic interest guy that wasn't a cousin? In this group that put themselves as good people, this guy Jay, when I first saw him, was like a spark, and I knew something was going on between us. He was slightly unnoticeable, taller than me, he was Spanish and had a tan and an undershaved top-knot hairstyle. At first I deadass thought he was... Ughew? Ughew. Is it like Ughew or Ahew? I gotta go with Ahew, because I think it's funny. But I'm a natural flirt, so I was hoping I could have some fun trying to get to know him. I don't know, I'm weird. I can tell. Especially about the cousin thing.
Mamma mia!
So we literally never spoke to each other, not even a hi. So we just kind of would look at each other while we both wasn't looking. But I caught him, then we would smile at each other. A week or two later, my breakup with Tar happened. Tar was sexually texting my youngest friend, which was only 12 at the time, while he was way over his 20s.
NANI?! What the fuck?!
Boy, we had such a giant fight that day until I blocked him and never spoke to him again. That afternoon was hard. I was sad, but then Jay came and I just stopped being sad as I watched him and his jokes to others. I assumed you were like in a group chat with him. I admired him greatly and it took any sadness from me. A week later, Jay and his sister took me to this fair thing and was trying to get me to open up. I enjoyed it but could not show it. They could not see my joy. As more weeks go by, still not a single conversation between us. We went to a pool with the group and he flopped on top of me. And I pushed him and he was playing but not a single word between us. I can totally feel the romantic tension in the air. Not a single word exchanged between you yet, but oh my gosh, flopping? It's totally a sign. One night I wrote our names in the sand and he saw and smiled. You haven't even talked to him. Not one word exchanged between you. And you're already writing his name in the sand? Hold on a little there, lassie. But then one of the group's older members drew a demonic symbol over our names and was whispering some crap.
Bruh.
Then things started going downhill. The members was telling him I wanted to rape him and only wanted sex, which was lies and I never said such things. He never said anything. Not a word exchange, still? They pressured him and pressured him without my knowing until later on I was also doing dumb shit to try to get us together. The first thing I said to him was, "Yo, you wanna sleep in my bed with me?" Clown emoji. He slept beside my bed on the floor. A gentleman. I'll give him that. I would also pick him up and carry him around and punch him. Punch him? Also, I've talked to this person. This person is female. They identify as female. That's one strong and violent girl you are. But they pressured him until he held my hand one night and said, "If we are meant to be, we will, but now is not the time." What kind of unstable relationship is this that involves punching and sleeping in beds on the floor and premature breakups? He got with the girl that was before me. She had major demons inside her. A lot of demons in the story, huh? She threatened him to be with her and was one hell of a narcissist, but he just turned me away and I even dreamt of this girl before I ever even knew she existed. Don't ask how, that's a way different topic I don't want to get into. What is even happening? So like you have psychic dreams too now? This story really is demonic, isn't it? He kissed a girl on camera and was posting it, and they went to casinos together underage, and stayed at hotels, and he was starting to fall into depression and was drinking and drowning himself with alcohol. That was a run-on sentence. He then got real bad foot fungus that spread to his hands. He then totaled his dad's car and the person in the other vehicle he crashed into died. He took it as a joke. What? Hold on a second. Backpedal a bit. Let's read the statement again. He then totaled his dad's car and a person in the other vehicle he crashed into died. So he killed someone. He was drinking and driving and he killed someone. He T-boned a car and the person died. The person also said he took it as a joke.
2 shots of vodka,
I knew then I would never be with him. I just couldn't. That's when you knew?
Get some help.
So then all the online relationships after that failed almost immediately. I was used and shit because I fell into a depression. But I do wish I had someone real, someone that had all of Jay's good things he had about him. What are Jay's good things? I'm sorry, but is this real? Is this whole story real? I'm starting to doubt that now, because I'm starting to wonder if this person actually told me a real story, or if they're exaggerating a huge portion of it, or they straight up lied to me. But back to the question, what are Jay's good things, exactly? What are his good qualities, or even how do his good qualities overshadow all the bad things he's done? I'm afraid I will never feel for someone like I felt for him. Yeah, you will. That feeling was like nothing else I've ever felt, actually being in love hard. I only wish and hope to feel that feeling once more, but both ways this time. What even was the story? What? I need you people in the comments to tell me what to make of the story, because not even I know what to make of it. I'm not even sure it's real. This is either a Wattpad fanfiction, or somebody's extreme over-exaggeration of a real-life person, probably. So actually, I lied. There is one last tiny little thing that I saved because I thought it was really cute and genuine, and I wanted to end this video on a good note. This person straight up said that they need love advice, and they asked me, how do I get a partner? I'm not really good at talking with people, and I don't know if I would be in a good relationship because most of the ones I've been in were online. So I wanted to actually give genuine love advice right now. Not just to this person, but to anyone watching. But for this person specifically, if you're watching, let me tell you something. My own relationship started out online, and it's just been wonderful. I love my boyfriend a whole lot, and starting online may seem a little scary, especially when you don't quite know how to make this whole thing work. You're apart from each other, it's not a traditional relationship by any means, especially if you meet online, which me and my boyfriend have met online. Especially if you're underage, navigating that with your parents can be tricky, but the key here is communication with your partner, but with your family as well, especially if you're still living with your family while you're considering an online relationship, because your family's support is kind of critical for this relationship to work. But honestly, the best advice I can genuinely give you is that sometimes in life, you just never know if something wonderful would happen if you don't take that jump, if you don't take that leap of faith. I was scared a little to do it in the beginning, but I did. And it was wonderful. Sometimes relationships don't work out. Sometimes romantic love doesn't work out. But it's not the end of the world. A lot of people think that love is binding in a way. That when you love someone, you give a part of yourself away. And if that love doesn't work, then that part of yourself is lost. I see love as something not lost, or that diminishes the more you share it with people. I see it as like a candle. The more you light it, the more love you spread. Love isn't a finite source. Love can be spread infinitely to infinite people. So my best advice to those of you who are single this Valentine's Day, who are in a relationship and having trouble, or who are crushing on someone and don't quite know what to do, or who are crushing on someone online and don't quite know what to do, don't be afraid to love. Honestly, don't be afraid to take that leap. Always remain cautious, always make sure that, you're taking care of yourself, that the person that you want to date is someone good in the head, not like these psychopaths we've met so far. If you feel that you have a genuine connection with them and they're supportive of you in the best ways possible, if they are there for you in every sense of the word and you like them, try it. Why not? And for those of you who are single and who genuinely want a relationship, you might have heard this advice before, but trust me, it's true. Love yourself first. It sounds corny because you might have heard it before, but you are a bit stubborn to believe that or think that it's not true, but it is true, trust me, because the key to a healthy relationship is you cannot rely on somebody else to make you happy. To make you truly happy, fulfill all your needs. You need to fulfill your own needs. A partner needs to be someone who supports you and who is there for you. But the one who should be truly accomplishing all your goals in life and who should be truly taking care of you emotionally is you. And I guarantee that if you love yourself truly, if you support yourself, if you are your own best friend, then maybe somebody else will come along and you can share that love with them. Or they may not, and that's fine, because if nobody else comes along, you have you. And that's why loving yourself is so important. So, thank you all for watching this video. I wanted to do something kind of different this Valentine's Day. I wanted to be a little more involved with my audience. like a reverse Q&A. I hope you all enjoyed it, genuinely. If you did, then I can certainly do more videos like this. I might not have read all of them, and I apologize if I haven't because there was just so many. But if you guys like this format, we can do it themed for other things, like, I don't know, Halloween or Christmas or Easter, I don't know. Again, thank you for watching very much. Leave a like, subscribe if you like this video, check out my other content if that's up your alley. And again, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. Happy Valentine's Day.